I sort of thought a theme this morning of it is the opportunity to make a difference. Because that's how we should all be living our lives. Because everything that we do in life is an opportunity to make a difference. Be it within our own lives, within other people's lives, within our family, whatever. For me, my great dream in life was to stand on the summit of Everest, to follow in the footsteps of Sir Ed. I thought I'd lost my chance to go to Everest. I thought I'd lost my chance to follow in the footsteps of Sir Ed. On that Christmas Eve 1982 actually. Because it was on Christmas Eve 1982 at 9 in the morning I got wheeled into theatre and had both legs amputated just below the knee. And when you sort of wake up on Christmas Day, wow, that was a pretty black time, a very tough time. But the thing you soon learn is that if you really want something, it's out there. If you really want to do something, then it really just comes down to you. And the question that so many people ask, that Everest, how do you get here? Well, actually, that's not the question you need to be asking. With Everest, the question you need to be asking is how do you get home? And how do you get home alive? That's the critical thing. And how do you turn that into making a difference? I've had to learn some tough lessons. I reckon I've lost 10 years of my life. I reckon I've lost 10 years of my life because I didn't understand that one of the most critical elements of what we do in life is to be able to stand outside of ourselves, look back in, and see the person other people see. Because if you can't do that, then you can't possibly understand how people understand people's compliments and their criticisms. And it's like I travel a lot. Got up this morning, Spencer, and looked in the mirror. As we do, don't we? The only trouble is I normally travel, and my wife travels with me a lot, and she's generally looking over my shoulder, going, "Well, Mark, that's bloody what you see, but really everyone else sees that. That's not what you." Climbing Everest isn't enough. Just going for the summit isn't enough. You have to go there with a plan to get yourself off, to get yourself home. For me, it was a long, tough trip home. Walking downhill for a double amputee is real tough. When next time you walk down some stairs, just imagine your foot and your ankle soaking up all the pressure and everything. Okay? For an amputee, it's just clunk. And in fact, I lost so much weight on summit day that my stump shrunk and I slipped down too far. So instead of all my weight being just underneath the knee, it actually went on the end of the stump. And that's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. But every step down that mountain, I only had one image in my mind's eye. And that's my team. That's my family. Anne, Lucy, Anne, Amanda and Jerry. Anne wouldn't have let me go if she hadn't known that I'd put an infrastructure in place to give myself the best chance of not success, but mostly of survival. That's the critical thing. If you go there without that, then it's a pretty irresponsible thing to do, I believe. Everything that we do, guys, everything that we do in life has a consequence. And every now and then, we have to own up to those consequences. I knew I'd get a bit of frostbite in the fingers when that oxygen mask broke at 1:30 in the morning. You can't be that high on Everest on that lower temperature without getting some frostbite, because oxygen is warmth up there. Those are the fingers straight after I got back down. Those were the fingers about 2 months later or a month later. But they are the fingers now. Had a bit of a trim up, like took the nail back a bit far. That's my fault, that's a consequence. But for me, I had my legs off when I was 23 years old. For a couple of fingers, was that worth it for me? Yeah, I think it was. Because the one thing the difference between having those fingertips and knots, about 2 months. It's about 2 months of not putting my hand in my wife's handbag, But now, they're going really well, If I was into manicures, I'd get a 50% discount. There's only one problem. Very, very difficult to participate in road rage when you're driving around. Everest is, for me, it was an opportunity to make a difference. And unfortunately, because of all of the media sort of attention when we got home, it took away from some of the stories that we wanted to tell. One of them was about Tile. He's my age. He lost his legs 20 years ago due to frostbite, just like me. The only difference between Tile and I is that for 20 years he's had disability and I haven't. He hasn't had legs. Imagine 20 years walking around on your knees like that. Crikey. Well, he has. Met him in 2004 and, he wanted me to give him his legs right then. For him to have my legs. But I just couldn't. It just doesn't work that way. They have to be built exactly for you. So I promised somehow he'd get these. That set made, we got them smuggled in 2005, and then in the first week of, we were at base camp in April 2006. Within 2 hours I was able to fit a set of legs to Tile, and within 2 days he was able to walk out of base camp. First time standing up in 20 years. And you ask him what it means to him, and he said, I can now look people in the eye. That for me was more important than Everest. For me, my challenge, the challenge that I was given on Christmas Day 1982 when I woke up with no legs, wasn't to learn to walk again or to climb, it was to learn how to think again. To learn to think that life's going to be about advantage and not disadvantage. No matter what you see, you have to be able to find the advantage in it. People when they look at me climbing see a double amputee mountaineer and they go, oh, how can that work? What I see right there is a mountaineer that won't get frostbite in his feet anymore. Haven't got a calf muscle to start to wiggle and cramp. You just got to find, when I'm on my bike, I'm about 20% down in power compared to a legged version. But with those puppies on, I can be more aerodynamic than anyone. Try and pass me going downhill. I think not. That's what it's about. But it's about taking the first step. So often people go, oh, I wish I could do that. Well, actually, don't wish it. Wishes never happen. Take the first step, get out there and give it a go. Because people look at that and they see a problem, That's one bunny that's about to become a furball. Well, I think not, It's a radical attitude, isn't it? That's what it's really about, I always finish on this. It's a T.S. Eliot quote. It's only those who risk going too far can never possibly find out how far they can go. Unless we try, we will never, ever know. If we want to make a difference in this world of ours, if you want to make a difference in your world, then there's one thing to do, and that's just aim high enough. And then when you get to somewhere like that, the critical thing is to aim even higher. Thank you very much. Cheers.